There's been some debate recently about race and class restrictions in WildStar. Before I go into the nitty gritty, I just want to say one thing. The race class restrictions have one real negative and a plethora of positives, and to get my opinion out there, I'm all for race and class restrictions. Because not everything is created equal. This is a harsh truth, even in real life, and I believe that games should depict this to some degree. There are sandbox games where everyone is the same with few differences, but everyone can do everything and anything. This opens up potential in other meaningful ways, but in games where choices should matter, problems occur when players are not restricted. In fact, games become boring. I really want to see diversity in WildStar. I want to look at someone and go, oh geez, that guy could kick my ass, just because of the armor and swords they might be carrying. I especially expect to see this from the Makari and the Granox. I think it would be a giant disservice to these races to see them dressed in robes flinging spells. And it doesn't really make sense. Big races should be intimidating, not frilly little fillies. It's why it makes sense to me that the Arn cannot be warriors in this regard, because they're not built to wield giant weapons in the manner the Makari or the Granok could. And in the opposite example, why the Granok and the Makari can't harness spiritual magical powers. They don't fit the part. The other benefits of the restrictions is the integrity of the story. One example of this was a couple of years ago, a game released an expansion that let the races become more of the classes that they weren't originally able to use. One of these races, a nature-loving elves of the night, allowed them to become arcane mages. This shattered their lore. The weariness to use arcane was something that had been innate with the race since before their creation, and the excuse that desperate times call for desperate measures is a total kick in the face to anyone that enjoys their story. Having restricted classes also means wonders for the development of WildStar. Carbine has to do less unique animations. They have to do less in general to create and finish this game, which in itself is a good thing, because if they had to create multiple classes for each of the races, it would require so many more animations that the game would take much longer to release. I want this game to release this year. While the argument can be made in favor of the no race and class restriction, I find these arguments to be flimsy at best. I believe that having the MMO tag in your game type means that there needs to be ways to define who your character is, even if you play the character as yourself. In a way, this decision of restriction helps the immersion of a game and will let people truly enjoy what they are playing. However, Carbine has already said that they would possibly implement more class options in the future if there was enough push from the community to do this. I truly hope they do not do this, because they shouldn't have to write in some silly excuse for the story, and they shouldn't, because usually the forums are where they generally get their information, and I'll be honest, people on forums are generally the loudest minority. You never really hear what the majority truly wants. I believe that the lore and the story of a universe, once set, shouldn't ever be able to change by the whim of the players or the people enjoying it, especially when you have games such as these that would have thousands, if not millions, of players playing them. We aren't heroes in this universe. We're just the people who come together in inequality to save and fight for what we believe in. If I wanted to be the hero that saves the world, I'd go play some other RPG where I'm the only one who can make a difference in the worlds of a difference. And just because we're not created equal, in-game and out, doesn't mean it's a bad thing. In fact, that's what makes life and MMOs interesting. Thanks for listening. I look forward to see what else comes up in the upcoming months. Congrats, Carbine, on getting MMORPG's most innovative game at PAX. Sounds like you guys had a blast, and I wish I could have been there. You can follow me at Twitter at WildstarNexus, or follow us on the blog at wildstarnexus.wordpress.com. I'm Roland Damon, and once again, thanks for listening.